The Sikh American community is a growing segment of the voting population and one that is working hard to make sure its voice is heard in presidential campaigns. Over the next few minutes, we'll discuss some of the ways in which community leaders are trying to get that done. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Own the Vote. I'm Robert Tranum, and I'm joined by Jasjeet Singh from the Sikh American Legal Defense and Education Fund. Welcome to the program, sir.
Thank you, Robert.
I think the first thing that we probably should mention or define is what is the Sikh American community?
Absolutely. So Sikh Americans are members of the world's 5th largest religion, founded in South Asia 500 years ago. And there's 700,000 Sikh Americans in this country, and they contribute to society in all walks of life.
Is it a faith? Is it a religious community? Is it an ethnicity, or a combination of all three?
It's a religious tradition, but it's a very tight-knit group. So you see kind of a very tight community that embodies sort of all those elements.
We should mention to the viewers at home that you are a nonprofit organization, so you frankly do not really endorse any person running or organization running for office or whatever the case may be, but you do get involved when it comes to raising political awareness, making sure that the folks in your community are aware that they have options,
Absolutely.
that they have choices, and the people that are running for office, whether it's mayor, Congress, Senate, or the presidency, their voices should be heard.
Absolutely.
I want to talk for a few moments about the Republican and Democratic Party and also the Independent Party. Do you feel like those three parties specifically are speaking to the Sikh community?
No, not at this point. I don't think we've engaged any of those three parties.
Why is that?
I think that a lot of it is a challenge about having them recognize us. As we know, very little is known about our community, and even more broadly, the Asian American community. I think oftentimes it's viewed as a sort of monolithic model minority, and they don't recognize the challenges that this community faces. They don't recognize the leadership potential that this community has, and I think that that's why they are not engaging with us. But from our standpoint, those are things that we can work on with our community members to make sure that they elevate their sense of education about who the candidates are, what they stand for, and what that means to our communities.
So what will it take? Will it take a Sikh American to be elected to the Congress or to the presidency or to the governor's mansion to raise people's awareness? Will it take some type of social movement, whether it be perhaps on the internet? What is that next trigger moment, if you will, that will ignite people to get involved?
You know, it's hard to say, but, you know, way back in 1957, the first Asian American member of Congress was a Sikh American, Dalip Singh Sand. And so it has happened. There's a history of civic engagement within the community, but it has been not mobilized. The community is not united. There's very little education about you know, the issues at hand.
Can I back up for a second?
Yeah.
You mentioned that the community is not united. Is that's an internal problem? Is it because perhaps a leader has not risen organically? Why have you all not organized within the own community?
I think that's part of it. I think part of it is that, you know, many communities, you know, in their immigration patterns, they tend to initially focus on getting financially well established, and they're not choosing career paths which are in the public sector. And so
it sounds like they're trying to garner the American dream.
Absolutely, and I think that's an evolution. That's a process. And so as the generations move forward, especially with the most recent generation, I think there's a lot of effort to get Sikhs and Asian Americans more broadly into political office, and hopefully garner some of that evolution we're talking about.
Can you see an Asian American or perhaps a Sikh American being on the national ticket within our lifetime?
I can dream, and that is a dream that we're working towards.
And do you think that's something that's going to happen within the next 15, 20, 30 years?
Well,
be optimistic.
I'm being optimistic. We are developing, you know, infrastructure. We're developing organizations to support such candidates, and there are already a lot of efforts. We have some rising stars within both parties, but I think that there's still a lot to be done, and especially if we're talking about a major candidate at a high level.
Thank you very much for joining us.
Of course.
And of course, our thoughts are with you with the tragic shooting in Wisconsin as well.
Appreciate that.
And of course, thank you for joining us for this edition of On the Vote. I'm Robert Tranum. Have a great day, everybody. We'll see you next time. Take care.